All right, we are going live today. And so let me check and make sure that I am live and that you guys can hear me. I'm going to take a look on YouTube. Let's see. You should be hearing me. You should be hearing me. Okay, so just the other day, I was on YouTube and we were discussing the drones and the drone issue. And I said, I'm going to go out there and take a look and see if I can find what's going on with the drones in general. I have personally not gone out there and seen new drones, but I have gone out there, and when it cleared up, right away, people were saying there was drones in the air, drones in the air. A lot of friends are posting things on Facebook about drones in the air. So when they post things up, a lot of the stuff is jets, planes, regular drones, and on and on. Now, I just want to wrap things up from the other day and talk about my experience. I live 2 miles away from Picatinny Arsenal. I live in New Jersey, North Jersey, Morris County, pretty much where this whole issue started out. I've been here for a month, and the first 5 days when it started happening is when people were talking about it here. And then from there on, it grew bigger and bigger. Along my path of approximately 3 weeks talking about this stuff, I saw more and more that there were 3 different kinds of drones that was happening. And I'm back on here today, and I didn't witness any of those drones in the last 3 days, but there's been other information going out there, and I want to get to that information because it's confirming a lot of what I had said previously. So if you're just strolling in now, I'm going to go over those few new things that came in, surfacing in the last couple of days. Now, since my last live stream, that I generally don't talk about this kind of stuff, but I am a tech channel and I do own drones and we fly drones. And so if you're strolling in, Kombucha, I see you too. Thank you. And I'm going to talk about these drones more. I'll give you a brief synopsis of what I've been going through for the last couple of days. Is that I watched something on another platform where hundreds of people were talking about these drones and these from other states. So they're not even from here. And they're having a big, broad discussion, mainly because they're just trying to get more people interested in what's going on about the drones, to watch them. And I really want to go into this and discuss what is really going on, because it started in my town. So I don't want to try to gain people that aren't even around here. I was in the thick of it from the beginning. So, because that's what creators do. They just want to suck more followers in. They want to talk about what the possibilities are. But if you watch my last live stream, I discussed over a 3-week period, I saw 3 different types of drones. And then, since I live very close to the Picatinny Arsenal in Morris County, they were discussing whether or not they were the Army drones. And I and other people that strolled into the live stream a couple days ago definitely felt that was the case. We all felt that was the case. So we weren't really over worried about it. So I was just thinking it was them, they're doing testing, etc., etc. So at this point, it wasn't really worrisome until the governor came out last week and discussed he knew nothing. And other people, right, that were starting threads, as we see someone saying here in the chat, that they were going on about even possibilities of aliens, etc., etc. So the main thing is that I want to get out there is I want you to realize that the base right up the street said that they confirmed, and they said that there were only 11 sightings that they had seen and confirmed they weren't their drones. So we know they exist. We know they're out there. We know they're not the Army's drones. And then as it progressed into the week, the governor stated that they don't know anything about this. And then when the senators got all together and spoke several hours about it, on camera, off camera, no one knew either what was going on. So that got a little bit worrisome when you have DHS, you have the FBI, you have state troopers, you have the governor, and yet nobody knows what's going on. We were kind of worried in the beginning, some of us, about what that might be, but then it also was worrisome for a lot of other people, you know, that just it wasn't comforting, or the technology, or they're on social media and they're getting worked up about all this. So that's why I wanted to discuss my experiences. And when I first saw the drones and we heard the drones, that was about November 18th. Picatinny is confirming that that all started for them on the 13th. So at that point, we all knew in this town that something wasn't right. And I saw drones, in my guesstimation, knowing what I own and knowing what my drone looks like, 300-400 feet in the air, which you cannot see a very small drone at 400 feet, and it's undetectable. You can't hear it. And so these questions arose as I watched these drones, which did infringe on restricted airspace. And so everybody was saying, well, it's not restricting, it's us, it's the military. If it was someone else, they would have done something already. So this goes on and on. But at this point, I realized that that was pretty much all a farce at this point. Now I'm realizing. But the thing is, the drones were about the size, of my guesstimation, of a hood of a car. And they were approximately probably 1,000 feet in the air. And I'm guessing at this because they were way higher than I fly my drones, and they were clearly visible in the sky. And you wouldn't even be able to see my drone. So I'm taking a guess, but that's my guesstimation. A couple weeks go by now, and I see a couple fixed wing drones, approximately 8 by 10 feet or so in length. Then I start wondering what's going on here. Like now these aren't these agricultural looking size drones, and something's not right. These are, by just Googling this stuff, looking like military drones. So at this point, I am getting, my feedback from myself saying, oh, that's them doing testing. Well, yeah, okay. So now going back to last Wednesday, because we had a bunch of rain this week, last Wednesday was the last time I actually saw a drone, but it was totally different this time. This drone was much bigger, and it sounded like a jet engine, not a propeller. And you could say I'm crazy. You can say that's nuts. My whole family was with me. We were blown away. It was in the same county of Morris County, and no one believes us that is not living around here. The rest of the state started going crazy. Everybody started just jumping into the whole copycat thing of flying drones. So every night after the initial 3 weeks started happening, everybody was saying, oh, the drones, they're following us, they're up here, they're that. And at this point, there were a lot of users' drones. They weren't just drones. They were drones that people bought. They were just flying them up in the sky. They were just doing any of this kind of stuff. So, have you seen the video on Capsi site? The Iranians trying to shoot down one of the mysterious drones and the bullets exploding around it. Now, I did not see that. My conspiracy brain theory is going wild right now. Let me hush. Well, if you watched Cyber Ash, thanks for coming in. You were here the other day, dropping a lot of great comments on that, on the stuff that's going on. But Kim, the thing is, we talked about this Project Bluebeam, and I knew nothing about it until this all happened for a few weeks. So I would imagine that now millions of people know much more about it. But if you go and look up Project Bluebeam, there is a whole conspiracy and a whole rabbit hole to go down, and it's quite intriguing. So we discussed that a little bit. But now, the night that I streamed, okay, so you're saying the drones have started appearing over Iran and China basically now too. I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen anything about it, but we know for a fact it was in the UK. And if this stuff keeps on happening everywhere and no one has any answers, then you better start, people better start realizing something's up. But just to give you a little info of being in New Jersey, I was at work yesterday and nobody knew about these drones flying in the air. Now, I live in Newark, New Jersey. I work very close to the FBI building, and the people in that area had no clue that there were drones flying anywhere, which blows my mind. So, and they might know, but they're not going to let anybody else know. And so I streamed that night while the senators were speaking, and I went back and I watched a few things that they were discussing. And it really didn't matter if I missed it or not, because first of all, there's very little knowledge on this whole spectrum. All these people have Googled this stuff this past week and looked up stuff. Then on top of that, I think the average person finally saw their first drone in the sky, and they haven't noticed the drones for years. And it just cracks me up that last year, and if you don't know about this, it was in the news every week about how DJI, they want to ban the drones. They want to ban the Chinese drones, this, that, technology, other things, blah, 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 right? We want to ban the drones. They're horrible for us, but it's okay if we have these drones that we don't know about just flying over our heads all the time. I just don't get it. That makes like absolutely no sense. They're looking out for our safety, so they want to ban the biggest drone company that there is out there. And then therefore it's okay that if we just have any other drone flying around, then we don't have to worry about that. I was thinking about that today, and I was like, how is this even really happening right now? And so I said I was going to get out there, and when it clears up, and I was going to start looking for some drones. Now, of course, as soon as it cleared up that night, people are on the local forums of my town stating that they're seeing drones, And yeah, I mean, I'm sure they are. Everybody out there who can stir up some information is having fun by just putting their drones up into the sky too. Then I have people that I personally know taking pictures of what they believe to be drones and their airplanes and their jets. And if you get caught up into it, it can easily happen. So people don't really look up in the sky paying much attention to what's going on. So then when you have all this going on, they just make it even more so. Fine, that's fine. So yesterday, and this only came out onto the news this past week, this past day, is one of the news agencies, Nation News, right? No, News Nation. They came out, and this guy starts talking about how he was skeptical. Now, I'm not going to play any of this video, but this video link is also in the description. Okay, so you can play it yourself. I don't want to get copyright infringed or anything. But he states, first of all, and I would watch from like about 2.5 minutes to 3.5 minutes, because that's where the important part is. How you doing there, Ken Central? Got a video for you to check out. The FFA cover up. I know a few people, and it kind of matches what they're saying in this area. Okay, that's okay. So that's another video people can check out too. So the thing is, the video here, this guy shows up and he's like, I'm thinking that maybe this is just a bunch of hullabaloo. Did my link show up? So I can see your link, but listen, what I don't think I can allow links in, but I can see your link later, because I set these rules up years ago, because if you stream a lot, you can't just have anyone's link show up and stuff like that. So what I will do is I will take your link and I will put it in the description also, Ken. And then so in this video, he discusses how I showed up and they said, if you really want to see what's going on, stay the night. So he stays the night. And then he says he sees approximately 50 of these military drones flying over him. And he put that all to rest, that it's a bunch of bull. He couldn't believe it. And then I just want to take you to about when he starts showing this drone. So I'm going to play this for a little bit. And he starts saying, this is what we saw, and I want to show you. So they show this drone flying. And at that point, they zoom in and they show this. This is exactly like what I saw in my town. So this was really just helping me, be able to tell what I actually saw. It was a fixed wing, and he discussed that it was approximately 10 feet. I was saying like 8-10 feet, and it totally made sense at that point. And then he went on to say, then we saw this other thing, and it was a different type of drone, different shape. Here it is. I saw something very similar to this, but I don't know because of how far this is away, but bigger. And that kind of like it really just hit everything off. It made so much sense to me. I was like, this is exactly what I was seeing. And so like I said, I put this link. I don't want to get copyrighted on anything or have to worry about anything. So watch the video 2.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes in, and you let me know what you think about the video. So I don't know what anybody else is seeing, but this video at the Jersey Shore, what was just posted up today, and I think they recorded this yesterday, was really what told me a lot. So Nat Parker is saying Andy Kim did it right. Cross T's and dotted. Interesting flight activity and flagship confirmed. No planes in the area. Exactly. Okay, so you watched it. And that's what they did. They went in, they confirmed, wasn't anything flying from the radar that was allowed to be on there. And then I had a couple people actually reach out to me and said, call me. I have some info. They were saying that other people that know, that are on our state investigations, are saying that these are military prototype drones, that they only have 5 or less of them, that don't have to be regulated because Lockheed and other companies are testing them. I don't know how true that information is, but it still just doesn't really make sense to me overall. So I've seen one in broad daylight flying low over my house. It had a propeller on the back. Yes, exactly. Yep. Small black helicopter hovered over. Okay, so are you hypersonic monkey brains? Are you in New Jersey? Because that was about 3 weeks ago what happened in the Morris County area. They were having some discussion saying that it was a Black Hawk helicopter flying, chasing these drones. And that was not the case. It wasn't a Black Hawk. Okay. All right. So you're United Kingdom. It was just a regular helicopter. and it was getting closer to the drones. Now, if you watch the video that I did put the link to also, they said that they were not able to overtake the controls on these drones with jamming the frequencies. And also, they said that at many times they couldn't even get the thing on film to be able to see it. And other people have said the same exact thing. When they go and record or show it, they get blocked and they can't even record. I'm telling you, if this is our military, they're definitely working on cloaking the drones, which would make sense, which would be the next thing that they is kind of gonna happen. But if we have Cyber Ash in here and they're discussing that I think it would be a she, is discussing that this is happening in other areas of the world right now, which, unbeknownst to us, he, okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying, because I can't see the picture if it is describing more. But the thing is, we didn't know it was happening also in the UK. We didn't know that this was happening in our own United States when it was happening at Langley. So at this point, it's just a weird situation, because unless you're really in on what's going on, and when I say at Langley Air Force Base, earlier this year, 17 days went by, and 17 days no one knew where these drones were coming from. And there were instances happening also over in Arizona. So we know we have military bases in all these places. And so, you know, one starts wondering, where is this all going? I don't know. I don't have the answers to this, of where this is all going. But now that basically other people and other news agencies and Picatinny Arsenal themselves has come out and confirmed, this doesn't have to be about one person saying it's real or it's fake, right? And that's the thing. And I think that's what I want to get out. I want the information to get out there, that it's just not made up stories by individual people who are making up things in their head. Because unless you're here and you know, and if you fly drones or you know anything about drones, then you basically know that a drone person's not going to mistake this stuff. They're just not. And I didn't mistake anything I saw, I know for a fact. So I'm in the UK like the other guy, and our government and media are dead silent on it. Okay. So I don't want to feed anything, and I don't know if Kim is watching and people are talking about, you know, starting the more of these conspiracy theories. But if this starts happening in every country, and every country is denying it, this is kind of like feeding into that whole blue beam thing. And that gets even weirder and weirder. And the thing is, are they manipulating this and trying to make this happen? Whatever the case is, no matter how crazy, and I personally think that whole theory would have to be incredibly crazy to happen, okay? But it's better to think about it and have some knowledge about it than to not discuss it at all. And if you are in here, please, we have 25 people in here, please hit some likes, because the other night we hit some likes and we had more and more people entering in and giving input. And this is how a lot of people that are in here tonight found what we were talking about. So please hit some likes. Let's get some more people. Let's get some more perspectives on this. Let's get some more people around the world, maybe even in, and bring in some of this, you know, highlight. So I think it's really important to discuss these things and to not even just think that this stuff can't happen. So thank you for the likes. There we go. Hopefully we can get some more people in and we can discuss this too, because it's an important discussion. It really is. And I don't think enough people are talking about it, because people are just doing their lives, and probably there's tons of them right now doing lives. They don't even live in New Jersey. They don't even know what's really going on. All they want is the views and anything else that goes along with it, the monetary. And that's not the issue. I came out here, and you can see by my YouTube channel, I really don't go off track with anything. I've been staying with tech forever. My whole thought was to get out there and tell the truth from a perspective of a person that lives in the town and the county, exactly where all this stuff started. So the Iran mystery drone looked like it had some sort of force field stopping the bullets. Well, I'll tell you what, I've had a couple other people, two to be exact, only discussed that they had it on camera, and then it looked like what a force field would pop up and hide the drone behind it. That pretty much describes what it was, like a force field not to record it. So sounds similar. I live in Maine. I told my friend about it, who lives here, and she knew nothing about it. Are you seeing anything in Maine? Because here's the thing, we can start having this happen where people are just flying regular drones and people are stumped. And, you know, I remember 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago maybe, where it was the 4th of July and a bunch of drones showed up in the air and everybody was like, look at that. Like, yeah, they're around. People have them. People fly them. It's happening. There's some interesting footage of UAPs emerging from the Atlantic Ocean. Right. But okay, so YouTube commenter, like, you're going back into what we were discussing, another, you know, what has been, you know, told about supposedly us having, say, aliens, and they live in the ocean. And listen, that's what's been fed out. And so the thing is the footage real? I mean, in this day and age, no one should be believing anything about video being fake or real. That's a tough situation. And so the people are the best. And that's why, like, people like us getting out there and communicating about this is really important, because we, the people, can tell the truth. Everybody says how they don't trust the news media. Everybody says how they don't trust a certain group, but the people who live in these towns and these areas, they can tell the truth. And it's hard because a lot of people are, to be honest with you, followers, and they're very swayed easy. So at this point, it takes a person to know what they're looking at to be able to do this. And what's great is this article that I linked in the description that I showed you before with from News Nation, and I put the link in there, and they were discussing it. They basically, this gentleman goes in to discuss it, and like I said, I put the link in there, and it showed what they thought was going on as far as the drones. And he's discussing, and he's in Red Bank, New Jersey at this point, and he's discussing that he came down there and it's much more real than he ever thought. And then he started watching the sky with the people, and they basically saw this drone and they got this footage. And it pretty much, this is the whole thing that hammered home for me about saying that this exists, you know, because that's exactly what I saw in this town. So, and then the second drone is super similar to the one I saw, but even bigger. So all part of the disclosure rollout, I think. Right? Slowly trying to get us to think about making it common, right? The disclosure and the rollout, and making it common. It's happening everywhere. We're accepting it. JB Spade, I think that's what you're pretty much saying. Stay connected with EVs, seeing them by me too, right? And I know where you live in Jersey, and you're not too far away from where it was going between Trump's golf course and coming back to Picatinny Arsenal. Both of us were pretty much on both ends of that spectrum of approximately an hour away from each other. And that's pretty much how all this got captured in the news. But here this is. It pretty much blew me away in this video. And then when they showed the next one, it was very similar, but this is a little bit smaller because I don't know how far this away is. It's different, but the shape is correct. So it kind of really showed me that no one's making up anything, you know, as far as in this town. Now, whether or not people are seeing them, the real ones now, that is far and few, I think, because I definitely have seen less of them at this time right now. But they are showing up in different areas. So, you know, who's to say that at this point you're not going to be experiencing them in your part of a state or town? I've seen hovering drones and fast moving. I think there are two types. Right, because there's fixed wing with, right there, I use Flight Radar 24. That's pretty much the best one. And then there's another one that I use that's out there. But you can go and you can use Flight Radar 24. You can see if it's in the air at that time and vice versa against it. No one that is seeing the actual drones is saying that they're seeing them in the air and on the flight radar. That's long been not happening. And they're absolutely definitely over 400 feet in the air, and they're big. And the ones that have fixed wings, they got usually a one propeller in the back. And the quadcopters are the original ones that I saw from day one, but pretty big. And then it went to the big one that I showed you with the link in this video. But check that link out in my description of that video. And that really, you know, hit home with this two articles this week. One, the statement and the news statement, you can look it up yourself, from Picatinny Arsenal, saying they're confirming 11 of these drones, and they're also saying they're not theirs. That was the first thing, and that's what made me go and start talking about this right now. And then the second thing was watching the link of the video I put in this description. It pretty much made me say, it's time to jump back on here and talk about this a little bit, because everything we were talking about, nothing has gone down at all. All three topics that we had brought up the other day are still there, which are, it's still ours and they're not telling us, it's another country, or three, is this alien? Is this, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Which I don't, that's the furthest from my mind, but people are thinking that. So I want to leave that open. I want to know if you think that. I want to know what your opinion is on one of these or three of these. I still feel that these are our military drones, but the more that things come out, the more it's skeptical. So a couple of years ago, this is Lola. Oh, thanks for coming back in. Nice seeing you again. A couple of years ago, there was news coverage about police departments accepting military drones to assist in pursuing drug sales and crimes perpetrators. Issue was privacy in Newark. Okay. Yeah, I mean, privacy. And listen, I know my company uses drones. A lot of companies, the power companies, the bridge companies, there's so much drone usage out there. And the thing is, they're not like those drones, though. So we know that. Footage of New Jersey drone shooting on new video posted by Casper site. Yes, that's, well, someone had just mentioned that, and so they linked it. And I can't put links in here because I was getting spammed a couple of years ago, so I leave links out. I will put that link in my description afterwards, though, when we talk about this more. YouTube commentator, I mentioned, okay, yes, you did. Thank you. Got to step out, leaving this, though. Okay, great. We can rule out aliens and bats as it sounds. Right. All the above is still on the table. Right. That's what I'm saying. So we go into this whole, spraying something. I saw that video earlier today. If that's the one you're talking about, I absolutely did see that one today. And we know for a fact that there are drones, right? You go to DJI, they have agricultural drones that spray and do work and farm and part of the whole, part of the agricultural drones. And I was looking these up with my son because my son had brought them up to me months ago. And so we were looking over them, and those drones cost anywhere between 30 sorry about that, anywhere between 30 and $50,000 a drone. Those drones are not even close to as big as these drones are, but it just goes to show you what they're capable of and what they can carry and how long they could stay up on a regular battery. And like I discussed and we discussed in the last stream that we did, is that there's hybrid drones that run on propane slash battery power also, because everybody has mentioned that these drones are staying up there for hours. So there's that too. Yeah, so I did see that spraying, and that was worrisome. So the Iranian drone incident shooting at the drone, and the China mystery drones, I still have to look that up and see what's going on, and see if there's anything we have with that in the news, because that's something that we have to look at. We definitely need an Independence Day kind of speech from the president, though. Seriously, we need something. But why? I mean, unless it's unless it's us, right? A big agency. We don't need anything from the president, to be honest with you. We need the president to talk to states that have having this happen a lot. This happened in Virginia before it happened in New Jersey. It had to be discussed. How does it not be discussed if it was 17 days on an Air Force base? How does it not be discussed if it's out in Arizona happening on near other bases? How's it happen here and it's not being discussed? I mean, there's just no way that can happen. And that's what makes me keep on coming back to the whole thought process of this has to be us. This has to be us. It doesn't make any sense. But until like those things change, then I'm going to keep thinking that it's us. And when crazier things happen, then I can switch that up and make different decisions. But I think that it has to be us. How has Musk not tweeted? I don't know. I think it's a touchy subject. You don't want to just go out there and say something crazy, even though that's kind of what he does. It's a good question. A lot of people don't have opinions on it. Maybe because they haven't seen anything themselves. I mean, that's why I got on here. The whole reason why I wanted to do a stream was because there were just tons of people saying that it's not true, they don't exist, people are making this stuff up. And I wanted to point out, like, I live in New Jersey. I saw it the first week it was happening, and I just don't want to let that happen. That's why. So that's the whole reason why I wanted to talk about it. I haven't seen Iranian video yet. No, me neither. Politicos from New York had press conference today asking for answers. I saw some of that. I saw a bunch of New Jersey politicians too pressing the issue. We had the walkout yesterday of one of the gentlemen because he was just fully frustrated that there was no answers. And to be really frank with you, all these state senators, I mean, granted, they probably just went on Google and looked up what are drone laws and everything. They don't even know what one looks like in the sky or not. It's a specialty. And to be honest with you, they might be smart people, but you're only as smart as you are when you know something about a topic, right? And I just feel like we are left behind in that whole situation. So whether or not, whatever those DHS and FBI and all them say, they're just basically kept on saying that they need more people and they need more, work, and they need more budget. That's all they kept on saying. We need more budget. We need more money. We need more budget. We need more money. That's what I got out of it. And there wasn't anything else about saying, well, we looked into things, there was a lot of people saying this and it wasn't that. I just felt like they just kept on hammering home, we need more people and we need more budget. So what if, since no one can get clear enough photos, there is an inflatable large attachment to the drone that makes them look larger? No. No. I mean, we can do such better than that. I mean, they can basically make a hologram show up in the air. They're not going to, no. Andy Kim went with police in Hunterdon County and they captured them while reporting. Right. And like I said, when you have the two main things, like I'm going to keep on hammering this home over and over. When you have Picatinny Arsenal saying they're not ours, but they're confirming that they're seeing them. And then when you have this reporter in my description, and then they're saying basically, you know, they're basically saying that these drones, what they never imagined what they would have seen today when they stayed overnight last night. They never imagined that they would have saw what they saw. And, you know, once again, I think it's a pretty big deal when you get pretty good look of this and you know it's not a jet, and it kind of like clears your head a little bit to, for me, by saying, okay, this is pretty much exactly what I thought. It's a drone and it's pretty darn bigger than average. So why would the state police not take video, and why would they just not follow the drone they found 2 days ago? So, yeah, here's the thing. I looked up about that, and I saw a lot of misinformation about the drone where they supposedly found it. I saw them looking and looking and looking, and I saw no video, and I don't think anybody else did, of the drone that they found. And so that whole thing becomes an issue too. I'm saying the one that they hovered over. Well, listen, just to be honest with you, you can't always get. It's not easy to get video as easy as you think, and with an object. And listen, this is only. I didn't do this. I didn't send the drone up and do this. This is what people are saying, that when they try to get their drones closer, their drone does not work properly. Things happen. I don't know if you've seen this. This is what people are stating. And they're also stating when they go and try to record it, it doesn't allow them to record the image. This was numerous people said the same exact thing. So I don't know. I don't know exactly. I'm saying the New Jersey State Police had a copter up and it was hovering over the drone. Cover up? I don't know. They were supposedly tailing a drone here too also that night. But I don't know what they were going to try to do. And the head told the pilot to them to leave it. Oh, I did hear about that. Right. So, but the thing is, their command from the higher up, I believe, was, and it's still out there for everybody, is that they're not to do anything with these drones. You know, I don't really know. In order to shoot them down and engage these drones, the CD must be performed. Civilian damage estimate. Right. And that's what they brought up. Zeke, thank you for coming in. Nice seeing you. That's what they brought up at Langley. The civilian damage, it's hard to do such an analysis on a moving target that's not flying and approved into flight plan. Exactly. It's just not. That's pretty much what they said about Langley too. And that is definitely less populated area than New Jersey is. We need to get an intelligence together so we have both countries working on this. I mean, I hope that would be happening already. Yeah, confirming the battery. Right, exactly. It was people are saying that the battery is getting drained as they get closer to these drones. Now, this is what blows my mind too, because I don't know if you've seen this, but people, and the thing is, we don't know if it's altered video. We don't know what's going on, but they keep on saying that as they get closer to these drones, the battery's dying. They showed how they put their camera on the drone, and then this like someone else said it in here, force field pops up and blocks the visibility of the drone. No joke. No joke. I'm getting my internet is slowing down. That's what it says to me here. I'm getting a warning. They placed Air Force security personnel on rooftops on the base to observe and record these incidents. That was still as of last week. Yeah, I mean, no one is giving any info. Alls I could tell you is same as I did the other day, is that I saw 3 different type of drones over the course of a month. 3 different types. And what got me really excited is that 2 of the types are in the video that I put in the link for the description. And so that's what's going on. That's what I've heard also too with lights and things. And actually a person that I had gone to high school with stated that when they were recording one of the drones with their phone and following it with their car, it appeared that the drone knew that they were watching, and that the drone, as they were filming it, their radio station changed by itself. I said it went out, it changed, one of those 2. So that's what that person said. I don't know for sure, but there's a lot of frequencies going on between these drones, so anything could happen like that. It feels like they're on the brink of something. It feels like wise is a weird tension, like the world is holding its breath. Well, yeah, I definitely feel that way too. I definitely feel the same. I think that's what's ultimately the weirdest thing of everything. A lot of people have been feeling the same way about a lot of stuff like that. So I don't really know where all this ends up. I just don't know. But what I do know is if you can hit a like in here, that will help bring more people to this live, and it will help me be able to get more information from different people like yourselves in here, because I just knew so much more after we had a few hundred people in here the other night. There were people that are in here tonight that I'd never met in my life giving great wisdom about stuff. So, you know, I think it takes a bunch of people to really start talking about it at this point and see where people are. And that's the thing, is there's a lot of people that aren't from Jersey also. So they don't know what they're seeing in the air because it could be just regular drones. Weird how it showed up at night and then disappear during the day. They need to be followed to see where it lands. That's what everybody says. It blows my mind that within a couple days that we didn't have drones, because we have drones. Why can't we just follow them and see where they go? I mean, if they end up going out to the ocean and it's miles away off the coast, you know, then at least we know that they're coming off the ocean or somewhere in the mountains or somewhere. You don't even have to be so close, right? The closer I got, the drone died or this or that. But if we can get you can't say that we can't say in one direction. Like, it kind of is crazy that with technology we have today, we can't even figure that out. So that is pretty incredible. But I don't know. I mean, does anybody have a different opinion on this at this point? Let me know in the comments. You know, if you still think it's our country, put a 1 in the comments. If you still think it's another country, put a 2 in there. And like I said the other day, if you think this is something from outer space and a conspiracy theory sounds crazy, put a 3. You know, put a 3 in there and we'll see how it goes. Well, they don't want to hurt us, whoever they seem to be at this point, right? But what if they're gaining all types of info? I mean, it just doesn't help either, though, you know? Who knows? But so MZ is saying that he thinks it's another country at this point. And Riff Engine is saying that it's still us. A lot of people the other night definitely felt, the majority of the people felt it was still our people. It was still our nation. And I guess because of the way that everybody is reacting to this, you would imagine that if it was a huge reaction, that it wasn't right? Something had to happen. But but if you're just like letting this go and it kind of like sliding off your back, it just seems really weird, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, we are looking to ban DJI for having drones in our country, because we're worried about all the possibilities. But then again, we're going to let a foreign country come in and run around with their drones. I don't know. Number one, but unsure. Yeah, I think it's illegal. Foreign nations here using their technology, like China, to do this. I mean, we know that that's possible. We know that there has been companies where they were allowing backdoor entry into situations where they can infiltrate our communication systems and have frequencies. I mean, you would think that we were have the ability to jam any frequency at this point. It doesn't seem like that's the case. I can't believe that. Let's just say, I don't know. I guess, like, shooting them down is one thing, because people are like, why didn't we shoot them down? I mean, they have these nets that they have on drones to be able to, capture something. But I guess, like, still in these areas, something falling from the sky lands on somebody, it could be a big deal. I mean, I don't know, but you must not be too worried about what the great possibilities are of everything if you're just letting this happen, though. Also, perspective, we've been doing this to other countries, our adversaries, for over 20 years. I worked in these locations. I hope this isn't payback. I hope it is USG. You hope it's our government. I mean, of course, it's easy to think and to say, this has happened to our country. We're going to do to you. How does it feel like now that you're being infiltrated, and that we're going this far? And what are you going to do about it? You're not so tough. Yeah. I mean, absolutely could be that, and especially. But the thing is, don't you want to tell us who you are, though? Because, like, here, you're not so tough. This is but now it's nobody. No one's claiming this, and it seems crazy after how long we're going, and no one's claiming this. That seems weird. That seems weird to me. Dimebag coins, if they are from off planet, we will not be able to catch one. Well, we haven't tried yet. That would be curious to see what happens if we did. Iran perfectly captured an RC-170 stealth drone in 2011. Yeah, there's been a couple countries, I mean, that they look forward to catching our stuff because it gives them, insight. I believe they're not thinking about them. Lives are so busy, they care little. I vote USG. There's stuff you just don't know. We know that is absolutely true. We know that's absolutely true. So I remember you asked me to Google the Manchester airport drone, and I was looking for it the other day, but I forgot exactly what you said. And I don't know why, but my chat didn't appear in my last stream. And so, which I always usually have my chat appear. So I have to look at that video and see that too. The Manchester airport drone. Let me see if I can, I might just check this out right now. See if I can find it. Let me see. Okay, I'm watching it right now. So let me just see a little part as I'm talking about this. Did you get, okay, so I'm looking it up right now. I mean, if we're going to keep on saying that this stuff is happening all over and we can't stop it, it's definitely going to be worrisome. Yeah, but see that picture? I mean, okay, so I did see this video somewhere else, and to me, that is just really hard to say what that is. It's so blurry. It's not a clear picture in my eyes to be able to say that that's worth anything, because they actually said it looked like a ball, like almost. I don't know about that. That doesn't look right to me. Airline pilot filmed it from the cockpit. They disappeared from online. I don't know. It's hard to say, because I just think that anything now that shows up in the sky or anything, it could be a helium balloon and it's a drone. It's, so that's what we got to be careful of right now, so that everybody is basically, everything in the sky is a drone at this part. I mean, there's no birds, they're drones. It's almost getting to that point here in New Jersey, and that's where it just went off the hook after it actually got out there, because everybody's mother who had a drone exactly went nuts with everything. So did you see the videos of drone shooting? Yes, the one that was shooting the spray in the air. I did see that. And but what was it? That's a good question. Where was this exactly? And they don't know what they were shooting. It's just kind of weird. It's just it's all speculative at this point. There were one shooting what looks like lasers. I did not see anything like that. I mean, listen, anything at this point is possible as time goes on. I don't want to feed into what ifs constantly, because I think you got to. I think I'm here. I know what I see for a fact. I can go online. I can look up stuff all day, all night, right? It's kind of like people don't go to the doctors anymore. They just go and diagnose themselves. I don't want to do that here. And I went and I was looking at a bunch of different drones that were supposedly our military drones. And I didn't see anything that looked like exactly what I saw. And the closest things were the ones I have linked in this news article at this present time. Those were the best things that I saw that looked super similar to what I saw. 2 out of the 3 that I saw. So again, you'd have to watch it and watch between 2.5 minutes to 3.5. It kind of like fills you in what's going on, and it kind of helps you a little bit. If classified, we won't see them, right? I mean, that's the thing. They can all just be saying, "Oh no, we don't know what's going on." But if this is top, classified top information, they're not going to leak this out. But at some point, it just doesn't seem. At some point, you have to say, after a while, that if we don't have anybody in our own country claiming that this is us, and then it starts happening to other places, then what do you say at that point? I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue, because at this point, with the information that I'm seeing, I have to believe that it's still us at this point. And I don't want to go and look at crazy stuff that's not clear or fuzzy. I mean, there's people that are going on and putting, videos up of a plane crash that happened a year ago of a small plane, and saying a drone crashed. I mean, that's what's going on, so people get views. They don't care about really discussing this topic and the reality of it. They just care about getting views, and that's what I'm not trying to do. I'm actually trying to tell and talk about what is actually happening in the county of where this all started. It's 4 states in the U.S. now, isn't it? So I would say that it would be definitely Arizona, Virginia, and New Jersey. And I know they're looking in New York, but it's really close on the border if it was New York also. So, but I know that they're going out, they're reaching out to everybody. Yeah. So Philly is like, 2 miles from New Jersey, like all that area. Philly to here is 2 hours, to New York is an hour. So the tri-state area. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get technical, yep, it's all very close to here. Now, I've heard nothing about Minnesota at all. There was a man of a Chinese national descent, whatever, marked arrested in California for flying a drone over Vanderburg Space Fort Base. Nothing says that. Yeah, I remember when that happened. And this stuff does happen. And yeah, no, but there's other cases that happened out in Arizona in the last couple months. And there's no answer to them. And there were nothing like what happened in Langley. Let's get that point across. Langley was a 17-day reoccurrence of constantly having drones that no one had an answer to. And nobody in New Jersey knew anything about that. So it just goes to show you that basically, if it's not happening in your area, you might not know anything about it, because no one watches mainstream news media anymore, and everything is social media driven. So now you come to New Jersey, this has been going on like crazy. I'm at work yesterday and I'm bringing up the drones, and hardly nobody knew anything about it, which it blows my mind that they don't even know, not even a mention. So, people are just living their lives, going to work, doing this, spending time with their family, so tired they can't pay attention to anything else. And so at this point, it's not like big news, and which blows my mind. But they want to be seen, otherwise they wouldn't have their lights on. I mean, that's a whole nother thing that we talked about. Then there's also supposedly one video where I saw we were getting closer and the drone turned its lights off. And so I don't know, like people said, oh, well, if they didn't have these lights that were basically FA, regulated, then how could they be flying in the sky, and what would be this? I don't have all the answers to that. That's, it's crazy, but it's happening. And so I don't know. It would be easy not to be seen. Oh, right. Well, absolutely. Yeah. So we were discussing this though, and I think one of the topics that I had about that is, and maybe MZ can, Rusty, you guys can chime in and see what you think about this. And that is like, if you're from another country and you're infiltrating, and you at this point you've done that, right? But you cause an American to get hurt or killed by having your lights off, and it runs into a commuter jet or plane or something. Is that like an act of war? Is that at that point we could take it over the top? So that's what I was talking about. At some point, if you go that reckless, and not saying that like maybe this is without even that, but if someone got hurt, I think that would take it to a whole nother level. I'm not sure. If they were foreign, why would they care about anything? Well, that's right. That topic comes up all the time. People say that now. So I don't really know what the answer is to that. I'm sure Iran and China wouldn't care if the FAA compliant on a drone. Right. I mean, people make fun of that all the time, and they do say that kind of stuff. We have a severely antiquated national radar system. FAA hasn't been upgraded in 50 years. Very vulnerable. Drones would probably not get picked up regardless because of non-reflective materials. Well, you're pretty right about that, right? Because we know those materials exist. I mean, you guys must have heard about the materials on some of these stealths now, where they can actually make the stealth drone or plane change shape on radar. So if you haven't looked that stuff up, it's out there, it's real. This is not imaginary. So there's a lot going on. So but we have to see what's going on. I don't know. So depending on how far we go is yeah, I mean, that was another topic, Christopher. That was another topic that was brought up is, and we were talking about this the other night, is we have between some of these big cities, right? And we have communication paths going. We have microwaves that beam tons of information in and out of New York City. Could they cause jamming, cyber? We have our cell towers. Could they cause jamming? Are they picking up information off of cell towers? Are they pinging stuff? Are, like, we can go on and on, because at this point, to really damage a country is to damage their infrastructure, right? If you're damaging communication, you're damaging computer, antiquated, not antiquated, computer initiated stuff throughout the state, you can basically, what about our transportation systems? What about the information that travels on the rails? What about the information that, for landing and taking off? There's so much that that could possibly happen, right? Because at this point, that's the easiest way to stifle any nation at this time, is to take away simply the things that we need to survive. So, and this is the thing, we definitely are lacking in a lot of areas. We see it every day in different parts of the country, in different arms and stuff. Could the drones be using same loopholes in your radar and anti-aircraft defenses we British did, and then we nuked you twice in 2 war games? I don't know. I don't relate to that because I don't know what that is, because they never released it. So I guess that's a video game. I don't know. Are you talking about that war games? But yeah. So who knows if other countries are trying to play the psych us out? That's that too. That's the thing, right? That's the thing. I feel the other countries are trying to psych us out, right? Because I mean, I don't know if a lot of people even know this, right? I mean, no one knows at my work when I discuss these things, but right, the North Koreans, sent a bunch of troops, as much as like 12,000 troops to Russia several weeks ago. Okay. No one seems to know about this. If you talk to anybody, it's this, that, the other thing. That is a symbol to us and everybody else. Those are all kinds of like symbols to say, we have alliances. We're shaping up alliances. You have other countries that are aligning with that also. So is this all working towards a fear of potential, situations? So I don't know. Those are all great things. The War Games movie. There was a War Games 2. I didn't even know that. War Games came out so long ago. God, you might be giving your age away. Michael, how are you? We are currently uploading a video of 2 UPA drones captured last night over LBI, New Jersey. I have an overlay of flight tracker on the video. Should be up in my channel in a few minutes. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of videos now too. One linked right here in my description that's showing the same thing. There is no doubt. Shot with the DJI Mini 4. That's the same camera I have, the Pro. It's good. It's good video. The problem is I can't get close enough, and I can't go over 400 feet. I mean, if I go over 400 feet right now, I'm not going to risk that at this point. So there you go. Darren put that link up. Good. Yeah, that's good, Darren. If I say put a link up, we could do that. I forgot about that. 8 to 10 would be interested, and the kids could care less. My 8-year-old said they'll show up and they go in my room. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is, I mean, if they're regular drones, because everybody's going crazy about it right now, I mean, nobody really cares about it because there's just plenty of information about it, you know. So it's on every news group because why wouldn't they? They're just going to get people watching, and that's all they want. And that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that every group is out there just trying to get views on all this and gain attention to make commercial money, and no one is in those states actually doing this. Now we got a gentleman on here. He recorded with his own, DJI mini drone, the Mini Pro 4, mini. Did he say Pro 4 or 3? Did he say Pro or 3? Oh, he's got the 4. I got the 3. They're both great though. And you got some good video, Michelle. Right. Okay. My point is, what if these drones have found out there's holes in our defenses and vision? Well, I would believe that that's the whole intention if they're from a different country. Wouldn't that be your whole intention? You go and send something like a drone for that reason. It's like when you go and send, there's a bomb threat, you go and send a robot in to sniff out if there's bomb material. I mean, that's exactly, you're not chancing any injuries to, or putting out your country. And at this point, it could be a group of people. It could be a nation. I mean, there's terrorist groups. It could be a lot of different, but the thing is no one is claiming about anything. So no, at this point, when you generally want to do something, you usually, to make the threat thoroughly exist, you say it's them. But I guess that would give information away too, that they need to be able to do what they need to do. I mean, that's very possible too at this point. So I don't know what the correct answer is to that. But either way, my whole point was to reinforce what I came up here 2 days ago when Picatinny basically said that they are confirming 11 sightings, and then they said that they are not our drones, which is the military, the army. The governor came in last week. It's not our drones. They had the big meeting with all the senators, which I guess we could have not had to watch much of it to figure out that no one has an answer. And then we basically have another news company come out, and they basically put up, that they show these drones that were here a couple weeks ago, same, super similar, one the same, super similar. And it's the best footage that I've seen of video of it in my link. And so at that point, it reinforced, what I saw and what people have been seeing in this town, to kind of just give people an idea that it's not just people making up garbage. That's the whole point to this, that it's just not made up garbage, because there's plenty of people saying that these drones don't exist on any level, So I don't know at that point. So if they are recon drones, they'd have to be flight. Have their lights off, presumably. I mean, who knows? Then you presume that they would be recon, and maybe then you would be worried. Who knows? Who knows at this point? But at this point, it's still dodgy. We still have no information from our country at this point, and we still don't have much of any information still, because there's no confirmations of whose they are. So at this point, what I did hear new from a couple people in here tonight, so we should kind of like take away with this, is that for some crazy reason, supposedly that this is happening in a couple other countries. Now, I have yet to see any video of that, and so I wonder if this is true or not, because then that would make you say, now listen, this is another thought. Like, these people are very intelligent. So if you're the country that it's happening, and then you go and post that it's happening in our country, and they show the video, then does that mean that you don't think it's that country? Like, no, we have to use reverse psychology at this point. So Yeah, I'm gonna take a light. I'll go take a look at those, and then we'll go see. But at this point, just because it has video of it up, it still doesn't mean, because look at, we have video of this up, and there's still people who think it's our own country and another country. So at that point, if you watch videos in another nation, does that mean that that nation isn't doing it themselves either? You know, we could play that game back and forth. And so that gets questionable where the trust factors come in. And that's where the gray area comes in of who you going to trust at this point. So, well, we will see about that, but it's just hard to say exactly. The drones will fly over Canada. Yeah, well, who knows? So what's crazy is that I live on a street where they have this Christmas house that everybody comes to go see. So from now to Christmas, I constantly have people driving up and down my road and parking in front of my house and constantly walking over to go take a look at this house as they, check out the Christmas house. And my dog just likes to go crazy over it because every time people walk by the front, it just goes on barking and barking. But I mean, at this point, whether or not drones show up in the sky around here, first of all, I'll go to my local forum. They're pretty much going to tell me. And then B, it doesn't matter. It's been confirmed already, and it's been cited, it's been videoed. And at this point, we just need more answers about what happens. It means, yeah, more barking and barking. So that's what's going to happen for my dog. I don't know if you actually heard my dog barking at all earlier. But yeah, so what we need basically is more answers, or any answers at all. So when we do get any answers, or someone pops up and says a little something about this, about what they think it might be, I think that's when I'll pop on here and be able to make more of a decision of what people think. So the government, they don't have to disclose anything. That's absolutely, especially if it's top secret stuff. But the thing is, come on. If people see them, how top secret is it? So you could just they could have just basically came out, if it was our government too, and I want to play devil's advocate on this, they could have basically came out in Langley and here and said, we're doing drone training. We're full in on this drone thing, and we're doing drone training, and that's what we're doing. That would have been the simplest thing to do, and it would have been nothing at that. Would have been nothing. So I don't know. I think it's a hard part is going to be about who we believe. I think that is going to be the biggest part. Here's Boston Don. Hi, John. I'm not sure if we talked about it. But take a high quality Canon or Sony with a zoom. Yeah, I did. I talked about it in my other stream from 2 days ago. The problem is, here's my camera. Okay. So yeah, you're looking at this zoom and you're like, oh, is this like a professional camera? That's perfect. Why can't you? This zoom does nothing when something's 2,000 or 3,000 feet in the air. You know what this zoom is good for? A football game. That's it, on a football field. So, you take this plus you zoom in. Yes, I can get a decent picture at night because it's a great camera. But if you're an average camera, you're not taking a great picture at night. So it's hard to get a good picture from far away when you're panning and looking through a small screen and trying to get a good picture. I got a few good pictures of the jets going over, and I hit the jet and I could read the FedEx on the back clearly. But it's not easy, and I don't have hours and hours. And at this point, I don't have to worry about that because everyone else is confirming that they see them and they exist. A news agency, the Army. So it's not like it's far-fetched at this point. Whether or not you believe it or not, that's up to you. I don't. I know the drones exist because I saw them with my own eyes. Whether or not they're ours, I don't know. We have to see. So we will find more out about that. But it is better than phone shooting. There's no doubt, but you have to be at the right part, at the right time. There's no doubt. And what I really need is a 600 millimeter. And at a low f-stop, how much that 6 millimeter, that 600 millimeter lens costs, because that lens costs, like when it was new, $2,000, and a lens like that at 600 at a very low f-stop is probably somewhere 8 to 10,000. 13,000. Well, there you go. So I don't have money for that equipment. This is what I do. I like to live stream and talk about live streaming. So I live in operation, high level of secrecy, not a drill, not training. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I have other friends too that are, that have come to me, and there's been hearsay of other people that work for people in this, in these bigger groups that have clearance, are saying that it is. So that's weird too, right? And then meanwhile, everybody comes out here and say it's not. So, and you're saying it's not. So I don't know. You have to go to manual for night photos. I generally don't have to, because I could just tap in, and believe it or not, my camera's so good it will focus in on without going nuts. With some cameras you do. This is it is a pretty high quality rig. That's what I need. And even in f4, still I have to ISO out at like 12,000. So that just tells you, to get a great shot at night, it is a lot tougher. But now if I was down at the thing is, right, they have better zooms on some of these TV lenses that they take. So that guy could have a better zoom like he did in that video to get a pretty clear shot. Now I thought that in that video that I have a link to, between 2.5 to 3.5 minutes, answers a lot of questions, and you can see pretty darn well. Yeah. Well, yeah, you have a Mark II, right? I mean, that's like a 10-year-old camera, but still takes great pictures in the daytime. So I don't knock that camera. I had the 5D Mark III, great camera for photography. I mean, you could take high level camera pictures with the 5D Mark III today. But I've owned the EOS R. This is a Canon R6 Mark II. But okay, so I think at this point I don't have to go any further about discussing this. I think we're just going to wait for the next event. We're going to wait for an answer. We're going to wait from there. Does anybody else have anything to add in at all? I have the RP. I had the R. Great camera. The RP is a good camera too. The R just had a lot more bells and whistles, and had a couple better things as far as for streaming. But yeah, that's a great picture too. I'm when it comes to photography and pictures, I was a Canon person all the way, Sony with video, and this is a Sony camera that I'm streaming with right now. It's a Sony ZV-E10. Mirrorless. Yeah, mirrorless. Everything's mirrorless now. Boston, has anyone seen a fighter plane or a Black Hawk around checking these things out? No, there was first misinformation about a Black Hawk. There was no Black Hawk. That was misinformation that people were spreading, because people just love to spread this stuff because they can, and because Don, you know about content creation. Like, there's just plenty of people out there that are looking for all the views. Now, granted, the other night it was great to have 300 something people in here, and we were discussing, because we got so much info, and a lot of these people are in here tonight talking about it. But having a whole bunch of people helps bring out a whole bunch more of information. And so at this point, I want to, that's what I was hoping for, to get more people in here to talk about different scenarios, because I love that. I love hearing more input from different areas about it. Like Jonathan stopped in the other night. Hello. I love getting more information about that kind of stuff. And then and then it is kind of fun. don't be upset, but I kind of like that whole talk about a little bit about that Project Bluebeam, because if you haven't watched any videos on that about what the whole process is, it's really crazy out there stuff. But I think you have to listen to some of this, because there has been several conspiracies that have come true that no one would believe. So if you ever just look up and you want to Google conspiracy theories in the United States that came true, you will be blown away by a couple of these conspiracy theories that were actually true. So, Daniel, how are you? Thank you for stopping in. You said you're born and raised in Newark. That's great, man. Thanks, man. Oh, they've been spotted over the Duke power plant here, 30 minutes away from my house. Okay, in Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, so I've heard that power plants were on the list, and reservoirs. Yeah, they're just basically taking a look at our infrastructures, and Duke is huge, right? Duke is one of the biggest. So that makes sense. And Newark is exactly where I work, Daniel. And my great grandfather grew up in Harrison. So, and I found that out just this year, actually. I never knew it. So Mike, exactly. If you're not considering every possibility, then you're not really using scientific method, and your conclusions will be biased. Exactly, Mike. And I think Mike, Zeke, because we've known each other for years, Zeke, we know each other, and we've had some discussions. And the thing about me is I like to bring every angle in and not be opinionated on things. And I don't like when we don't have all the information coming from areas that is being manipulated. That is not cool to me, and I can see clearly through that garbage. I am not a genius by any means, but I'm not a dummy. So I really like to look at things from an open perspective, and plus that prepares you, because if you don't shut out some things that you could never believe, you are open to any possibilities, and I think that helps you in the long run, the way you look and think about things. So I have family in Kearney. Oh yeah, that's right there. Yeah, Kearney's great. Newark. I'm there every single day, and I work in New York City also, and so I'm in and out of both weekly. And yeah, you're talking about Kearney, Newark, that area, that part of New Jersey, Lyndhurst, Secaucus. You're talking about the best food areas in New Jersey, right there, without a doubt. I mean, I went to a little deli. It's called Halsey Deli on Halsey Street in Newark, and I got a chopped beef sandwich today. Whatever, it was amazing. At a deli. So yeah, I mean, I just think at this point, I think it's just really important to talk about all these topics and see where things come from, and don't speculate. And I don't like when everybody just comes from one news group and gives information, and they believe that's not the way life works. If you're doing that at this point, then you're only seeing one side. My best friend is a fighter pilot. He got back to me with 2 nights ago. Here's his take. Ooh, I want to hear what his take is. Remember, you can only fit so many words, but there's a lot of takes. There's a lot of takes at this point, and that's what I think is great. You have to open it up to see what the takes are. And I think when I looked up Project Bluebeam, it seems like super far-fetched, but it's supposed to be a conspiracy theory driven from the United States. Then I think at that point, you have to look at it. And the person that I was watching that was talking about it was saying it's important to just open your mind to things, to know that these things possibly exist and that you're not fooled by things. And I always feel like the more you know, then the more that you have knowledge about things, or the more that you walk your own path instead of follow. I think at that point you're becoming a conscious person, because I think and this is just my opinion too, and I don't want to insult anybody, but I think 90+% of the people out there are followers. They follow certain things, certain ways, and I am far from that. I think that it's an SR-71. Well, that's the Blackbird. Think about, yeah, so that's the Blackbird 20 years ago in the sky before it was declassified. People thought it was UFC. Absolutely. Absolutely did. That technology is what we were far advanced at that point. And that's what I'm talking about, though. I said it earlier that we have the technology, and I was watching this a couple months ago, that we have some kind of capabilities with the skins that we have on these particular jets or drones, or whatever you want to talk about, where they can actually change the shape of how it appears on radar, which is amazing. So at that point, I think our technology is just becoming, I think our technology is out there, but the truth is, when it comes to these drone technology, there's a reason why they want to stop DJI. You know what I'm saying? So that technology is definitely more advanced in that area that we have out as far as consumer products. And the thing is, we might be a little behind in that part. And that's what the fear plays in for us. So that reminds me, I have a cousin who is a United States Air Base physician married to a United States Air Force fighter pilot. Wonder what they think. I think they all think similar things to us. I mean, I have Marine friends, and there's friends in this discussion who have served and who have worked in the Air Force and have worked in some of these things, and we all have still different opinions about it, where I think a lot of people feel it's our country or the other. That's what the majority of the people think at this point. So flying internet and GPS connected Chinese camera systems, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. But where's all your phones made? Where's all the iPhones made? Anybody want to take a guess here? Put your hand up. Johnny, I'll call you. Like, come on. Where's everything made? It's not just the DJI stuff. Come on. Jonathan, there you go. So he had zero concern and said that if it was foreign entity, that they are giving us free intel, and we have satellite systems in place that are far more detailed than we could. And that's a very good point too. Very good point too. And that's what some of my close Marine friends think also. They still think it is our own country at this point. So I think at this point, we speculated everything again, but with this new information out, what I wanted to get through, and some of you people knew this from the start, I wanted this stream to get really out there more to more people, because I wanted to just tell these people that don't live in this state that you think we're stinking lying and that it's fake. And now we have more information, and there's more people confirming, and there's more video out. That's what I wanted to talk about. So I just wanted to get that off. It's fun having this whole discussion of what we think it is, but just the whole thought of saying it's fake and these people are making stuff. That's the thing that just got me. You know what I mean? So that's all I wanted to get to. So yes, I hear you. I'm gonna watch more videos. Some satellites can read newspapers in your hand. I'm sure. There are more gangsters not in New Jersey than India. Not in New Jersey. Thank you. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. It was a good chat. It really was. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. It's just a good way to end right now. That's my point. It's not fake. It's not garbage. Let's get the answers. We're still not going to have the answers, but at least at this point, it's not a garbage. It's not like people making up stuff. It's not New Jersey people being wackos, all that stuff. So, Jonathan, thanks for coming in. Michelle, thanks for coming in. When we get more information and some stuff comes out, I might pop up here again. So, how many different people, how many different kind of drones for people and who saw them? I mean, I've seen 3 different kinds. Well, wouldn't it be funny if there was a really innocent country doing like New Zealand or pranking the world? I don't know. I don't think that would be funny. I think that'd be crazy. But whatever it is, like I said before, some point maybe people will start realizing that we're more alike than we're different, and because everything that I've seen in the last 20 years has gone downhill for the human, existence. It's just crappy stuff. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the separation, the pulling apart and not the pulling together, and the control and the money. It's just a sad state of affairs, to be honest with you. So I'm hoping that don't look to your leaders to make things better. You have to start looking within, and we have to start actually coming together, because money and corruption is always going to go hand in hand with money and corruption. It's like you don't send the average worker to do a billionaire's job, and you don't send the billionaire to do an average worker's job. They don't care about each other in that sense. And so if you expect the average people to get along, they have to start breaking down things and stop believing what people are telling you, and actually go out there and seek the truth. That's all I'm telling you. But I got to go. Have a good night. It was pleasant time hanging out with you all, having a good time, but my family needs me at this point. So love you all. Take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping in. Talk to you soon. Peace.